Welcome to Spotlight on Dining in Mendocino.
Nicholas, we're a rural county. We're 130 miles north of San Francisco on the ocean. Why do you think there's such a drive for quality food in a rural county in Northern California?
California was really the start of what we can think of as America's food revolution, although a lot of the things that people are doing are not exactly new. Jeff has a farm that supplies some of his restaurant. I've partnered with a farm that's doing the same. But, way back in the 1800s, Delmonico's restaurant in New York did the same thing. The Harvey House restaurant, chain of restaurants along the railroad lines, did the same things.
I go to almost every farmer's market in our county, and I see people at this table at almost every farmer's market in our county. But we're talking farmer's market, a little stands up there. But now what I'm hearing is that a quantity of good quality food comes from our county, gets to your restaurants, comes from the ocean, gets to your restaurant. How can we do it? I mean, our weather pattern, can we continue to sustain good quality food here? Can we?
Yes, we can. And the reason is that we have a lot of microclimates. We were one of the people that started the farmers markets throughout the county. There was such a dearth of organic foods in the 80s that we supplied Cafe Beaujolais, restaurants up here. We weren't here then, but Ledford House and all the other restaurants that were trying to get organic food. And we helped start with a bunch of farmers, but put it together because we're obviously only one area, Mendocino and Fort Bragg. These farmers markets to get more food out there and to promote the idea of growing organic farms. Then the alar apple scare happened, and so many people rushed into organics, and that actually helped us produce more organic food at a higher quality. Mendocino, since they stopped doing logging and using garland in the interior, has really good water coming out of the different rivers like the Big River. And as a result, the seaweeds that water helps provide nutrition for are really clean and not laced with Fukushima radiation. And there's also tremendous seaweed here that some of us use, and you might be using it. We definitely use it. It's a fantastic resource, and like sea palm wasn't even known until somebody brought some to us and we figured out what to do with it. It's now an internationally known thing, and the best sea palm is right off Mendocino coast. So it's an interesting place to be. We can actually provide something that people can't get everywhere.
We try very hard to bring local ingredients to the restaurant when they're in season, when we can get them at the best price that we can. Some of them we do use year-round. We use particularly Aqua Gardens Family Farms out of Potter Valley. They grow their mixed greens hydroponically on the top of fish ponds, and we use that in our mixed green salad all year round. And there are some farmers that can produce all year round, produce consistently, and in the summer we do bring a lot more in for our menu. But our hardest thing at Saucy is to try to find those ingredients at a price that we can afford to pass along affordably to somebody else for the type of restaurant that we are.
Dow and these other large corporations and corporate farming, they're doing everything they can to minimize that. They're even trying to minimize what's left of the USDA Organic Act. They're damaging it significantly, or trying to. And so we're now members of Mendocino Renegade, which is a higher level of sustainable farming. And truly, I think it's going to be time soon that we actually take samples of soil and analyze the bacteria in it, make sure you have the bacteria that produces B12 and vitamin D, and talk about healthful soils and get it right back to basics. And that'll be a higher standard than what we now have. I would say CCOF organic standards, that's California Certified Organic Farmers, were higher and more reliable than what we have now.
We have Eric Schramm supplying all of our restaurants, and he's an international mushroom guru, and he's based here on the coast and supplies the most amazing mushrooms that top chefs all over the world want, and we have them on our doorstep and get lovely mushrooms. We've got the Anderson Valley, which is an inspirational place to be if you're a foodie, because there's so many fabulous wines to pair with fabulous food, and it just brings out the best of both.
And chestnut farms and apple farms.
And apple farms.
Yeah, and olive farms.
And the olive oil. So no, it's a privilege.
I mean, chefs from all over the world want to move to Northern California. I mean, this is one of the number one spots where people who are interested in food and cooking want to be.
We're like a mecca, huh?
Exactly.
All right.
Absolutely, just like next door to you, you have Living Light Institute. They come
Exactly.
and they eat with us, of course, sometimes because they're vegan, and that's an amazing draw to this county.
Right.
Well, I think that usually people think about Mendocino, they think about the coast, think about the ocean. You know, those of you that are here on the coast are lucky because this is generally the draw.
Well, you used to be.
I was going to say, I've been in both places. I had a restaurant here on the coast, and now I have a restaurant in Ukiah, so I've gotten to experience the difference between both of them, and it's really interesting all of a sudden to see the attention that's being paid on inland Mendocino. I mean, that is where things are being grown. Anderson Valley, Russian River Valley, Potter Valley, that's where our produce is coming from. It isn't being grown in elk at 50 degrees most times of the year. I mean, some things, but not everything. And that there are all these different pockets to this county that you can discover that are in addition to coming to the coast and seeing the beautiful ocean views. I mean, there's lots of things around, and it's great to see restaurants popping up in Hopland and Willits, you know, in Ukiah, in the Anderson Valley, that can also provide the services that the coast has always been able to provide, and that's why people, you know, are starting to round themselves out a little bit.
The next great wine country isn't going to be Anderson Valley because it is so small. It's really going to be the Redwood Valley,
Redwood Valley,
and it's going to be the Upper Russian River Valley, which is Ukiah, the Ukiah Range. It's going to be Ukiah.
Oh, and Ukiah has tons of rooms. The
They have
Fairfield and
tons.
the
They have-
Hampton and, you know, Best Western affordable rooms.
You think that's it? You think once
Vichy
people
Springs.
come up here, they're going to say that's our hook? I mean, we're going to say our hook is just get you up
As
here
long as
once,
they can
and you're
remain-
coming back.
As long as they can remain connected, but have the country feeling, which Ukiah provides all of, all those valleys do. I think it's going to go on the map, and that'll draw money here to provide the other experiences that people want that are associated now with Napa and with Sonoma.
The restaurant business is all about entertainment.
It's a show every day.
When they come through the door, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make them happy, to feel better than they really are.
There's an energy in this county
Absolutely.
that hasn't been completely paved over yet. And it's very special, and I think that's why people come here and move here. They may not know why, but they feel good here. And that energy gets in our food, particularly the food that we grow here, obviously, or the food that's collected off our coast. But that energy is transformative. The most important part about that experience, as far as Joan and I are concerned, which is why we came here, is the energy of this place.
I would agree.
And it's still here, and it's not just in Mendocino, Fort Bragg, it's in Ukiah, which is a little bit of a city, and it's in Willits, and it's in all these other places, Laytonville.
I came out here on vacation in September of 2000. I was living in Brooklyn and working in the restaurant business. And
You're from New York, really?
Get me drunk or get me mad, and I sound like it too. I came out here on horseback riding vacation. I rode at Ricochet Ridge Ranch north of Fort Bragg here on a week-long riding vacation. I loved it so much I asked for a job, and the short story is 6 months later I was here leading trail rides on the beach saying, I'm never doing the restaurant business again. I'm going to get paid to ride horses.
How'd that work
Here I
out
am.
for you?
Yeah, 3 restaurants later.
Okay,
right?
got it, okay.
But you know, it's just a captivating place to be, even for somebody from New York with that kind of, you know, energy and pulse and movement all the time. It was finally like, oh, I can go someplace where I can still have access to good food, access to intelligent people and culture and art and all of that, but in a, you know, like you said, a place where you can take your breath. And,
And I think the
and that
ener-
takes your breath away.
The size matters. The fact that it's a lot of small-scale places made us feel really inspired that we wanted to come and be a part of it and do our little fish restaurant. And we have, you know, small suppliers that supply us, and it all is all very special. It's very, very different to large scale. Just the size matters a lot. It's romantic. It's you know, very off the beaten path, and it's very different to what you'll find anywhere else.
If you're not in a hurry, it's absolutely stunning drive. You go over the ridges and come down into the valleys, and it's beautiful every time.
I travel this road, this county every week. I put on probably 500 miles a week of just traveling, and I never mind when Caltrans has a stop sign out there. You know, other people are going to say, I'm going to stop here for 10 minutes. I'm going, this is great. This is a good place to be.
One of the other things at Patrona, just to throw this in here, is our incredible cocktails. We have kind of forged the way in Ukiah, and it's spreading. Corey is being asked to do mocktail classes to teach the community on how to actually craft cocktails. We have a wonderful non-alcoholic list of drinks that are very complex with fresh fruit, herbs that we muddle as we're mixing with fresh juices. We squeeze most of the time, every single day, lime, lemon, and grapefruit, as well as orange for our cocktails. They're all fresh squeezed. Very little bottled product, and they are fresh herbs. Our cocktail list is changing constantly. We just came out with a new cocktail list, and it's very exciting. It really is, and it's truly, as Craig put it in our managers meeting, it's very much a mixologist concept of trying to use the same concept with the food that we're doing on the table as well with our cocktails. So
And you have a pretty extensive bar.
they do.
We do. Our bar, we don't have any regular liquors, well liquors, so it's all call. And everything, we do the same thing you do. Only it sounds like you've got a really creative person there because you keep expanding it. Unfortunately, a lot of vegans aren't heavy drinkers or drink at all, so we don't have a large bar business, but we have it there as a service to our guests so that they can have a drink if they like and they can experiment. We have an extensive list too.
One thing too, I wanted to give a plug to Liz and her passion with wild fish, and I think you would be interested in this as well. We all would. And for those coming up to this wonderful county, is your new idea and the work that you're doing with the concept of trying to get more of what Nicholas was talking about with the farming and the produce, but with the fresh fish. We live on the coast, and we're finding it very difficult to get fresh fish from our local waters here and local fishermen, which is our back door, to our tables, which is right here in our community. And because of licensing, we can.
Yeah, no, it's really, I can sort of understand why there aren't that many fish restaurants when it comes to sourcing fish, because it's really hard. And John Curry from the EDFC, I was talking to him the other day, wonderful charismatic guy, and he said that there is an initiative now for local fishermen to make a cooperative, because I have a huge problem where I can only buy from people with the right licenses. So there are a lot of fishermen catching a lot of fish. I mean, you've never seen greenling on a menu locally, right? But there's loads of it in the water here, and it would just be fantastic to get that on the menu. There's a lot of things that, Little River Cove is actually famous. People come from all around the world to study the herring in Little River Cove. Do you ever see that on a menu? Well, you can now, just for a few weeks ago. Yeah, and roe on kelp, and it's a famous ecosystem in Little River Cove.
When people come here, do they know that Mendocino County has the wine that we have? How's that?
Do you want to start?
No, you're more experienced, absolutely.
Well, no, I may be experienced, but the guy that knows probably most about Mendocino County wines and Mendocino County vintners, you should probably know him, Brendan McWigan. He is really trying to get Mendocino County wines on people's minds when they think, I'm going to go buy some wine at some store. They think Mendocino County wines. This county has some unbelievable wines and some unbelievable winemakers, like, what is his name? The guy whose parents own Silver Oak, Matt Meyer. Okay. Matt Meyer. I mean, they make some incredible wines out there. And Yorkville, that guy Edward Wallow did an amazing job with Yorkville wines.
Although Greg Graziano's the winemaker.
Yes, but he's the one that got the Yorkville Highlands appellation,
Right.
and he assures that he's got really good wine, and he's getting it marketed all over the place. And that's just two in Anderson Valley.
They're actually biodynamic.
They're
They
biodynamic.
don't really
All of
talk about.
all of Yorkville is Yorkville Cellars is all organic.
Right.
Every one of them. And I think you mentioned early on, sorry to interrupt, but just real quickly, the things that I'm growing more with Craig and Bridget and Patrona Restaurant and Lounge, because we are a wine hub, if you will, because Craig and Bridget, more Craig, is passionate about offering quality wine at a reasonable price. But the microclimates, which you guys are probably more familiar with, the plethora of the ability that we have to grow quality wine here. I mean, that's the whole Coro concept, right? Coming together with those wineries to show the world that Mendocino County has the ability to make quality wine, because the grapes are grown in such a way that they are high quality grapes, and yet our pricing is extremely reasonable comparative to our neighbors Napa and Sonoma.
And they're using our grapes anyway.
Right.
Yes,
When I moved
but they're
here-
not paying the Napa and Sonoma prices.
No, exactly. The cool thing about us are those microclimates, because they keep the viticulture the area for that particular grape small, and they can control it more because of the forests around to have really high quality grapes and then make really great small batch wine.
We have so many young winemakers.
Yeah.
I mean, people my age. Jason McConnell at Ravino over in
Oh, he's
in Ukiah is
fantastic.
a fantastic
Alex
winemaker.
Greger.
Alex Greger. We've got the Drew family, Molly and Jason, who have a tasting room in the Anderson Valley. I mean, there's just the people at Balo. I mean, there's just young, 20, 30-something-year-old winemakers all over this county coming up. So it's just going to continue. And the opportunity, again, for education, access to education is so easy. I think that you're just going to see more and more of this amazing wine coming out of this
Are
county.
the sons and daughters at the Monology program at Sonoma State or Davis? They're coming back.
Yeah, we're seeing second and third generation winemakers
Absolutely.
coming in. So how does wine play into your business?
Well, it's always been interesting with wine and food in this county because, for two reasons. One, for me to have a customer, they have to be sitting here at the table, right? But our wineries, their market is worldwide.
You're right, yeah.
Right, so they ship product, and their focus has long been on not so much the visitors coming through the tasting rooms or people who are maybe in the wine club, but how do they get onto the shelves at Trader Joe's? How they get the product to the East Coast? How do they get that recognition? So their marketing focus has been out this way. Our role in that is that we've always had an all Mendocino County wine list, as probably many of us here do, because we've got such great stuff in our backyard. We have so much choice now, and people are so much better educated about wine than they were 20 years ago, for sure, that we're the value.
I get it, Nicholas.
And people know that.
And as a local, one of our secrets that we know about is for $10, you can get an incredibly great bottle of wine
Absolutely.
anywhere in Mendocino County.
That's right.
And that same bottle of wine back east is going to be $30, $35. But for $10, you can get some great wine here.
And I can go into any restaurant, more likely than not in Northern California, and know that I'm getting healthful food, something that's good, probably something grown locally, just this amazing stuff right here.
We haven't talked about beer in this county. North Coast Brewing Company, Ukiah Brewing Company, Mendocino Brewing Company, and I mean, the beer they put out is just unbelievable.
Ukiah Brewing Company is the first organic
brewing company
in the nation. Yeah.
And organic restaurant.
And organic
One of two.
restaurant.
When you go home from Mendocino County, you're going to remember your trip, and you're going to say, "Yeah, I'm going back. I'm taking some friends next time."
And you might just move back.